Welcome back. This is Tea Time on Plus TV Africa. We hope that break was as energizing for you as it was for us. We are still on our stories for today, and the next one is about a Nigerian man who has taken to X, which was formerly known as Twitter, to tackle singer Lojay for saying Nigeria is where it is today because our parents' generation were and still are extremely ignorant. Lojay had in his tweet claims that the NSAS and Mohbad's death-old generation parents are ignorant. He added that the way some of them talk and act in extreme situations baffles him. Reacting to the claim, a Nigerian man recalled how he and his age group faced guns and were locked up. The man, who reiterated that he is not a coward, also recalled how he was allegedly locked up at Elere for writing an anti-Abacha article and circulating it around secondary schools. So this story, there are two sides to it, because I feel like the person that responded didn't really understand what Lojay was trying to say.
About, yeah.
So what Lojay was trying to say is the perspective from which our parents come from sometimes just makes it show that they have not evolved with the youth. They're not seeing what the youths are seeing. Right? And then the man's response, I can feel the anger there, because first off, you saying our parents is putting all parents together. And not all parents are the same. Not all parents, in fact, not everybody are the same. Not everybody has the same ideology. Not everybody thinks the same. What you might think that all parents are thinking is not what all parents are thinking. My dad is different from Ume's dad, right? So I think that man just got it wrong and got upset. Like, okay, because you mentioned NSAS and Mohbad, so he thought he was talking. Lojay was talking about fighting for the masses, and the man went all out like, where we used to, we are not cowards. There was a time where we used to carry guns and used to fight for the country, and I don't know from which side to talk now. I don't know whether to talk from Lojay's side or from the man's side, but I'll take it from both sides. You want to say something?
Yeah, I'll take it from the man's side.
Okay.
You can see, when we talk about press freedom, it goes a long way.
Way back.
Yeah. In fact, by then I was not even giving birth to. Do you get? And the media then was a very scary place. Not the media then and the media now is totally different.
Entirely different.
Now we are given the opportunity to say anything we like and nobody will come for us. But back then,
not really though, boss. There's a way you can hide.
There's a way you can hide. Do you get? But back then, you dare not come out against the government, or you dare not say anything about the government. Now, I remember in 1970, there was a man named Amakiri.
The popular shaved
man that they shaved his head, and he was beaten thoroughly because he published an article. Then I think in Port Harcourt against the then Rivers governor. Yeah. And the day he published that article was on his birthday. Do you get? And he came out and he was talking about teachers not being paid, how teachers are being treated poorly and all. Now, the man was not doing it to his own benefit, and he was working then for the Observer. Owned by, is it Bendel or something?
Yeah.
Do you get? And he was not like, you know how we media correspondents, we work, and you know how they say when you're writing a story, you have to be true with your story. Your story have to be intact and all those things. So the man was just, coming out to say these things
as it was.
And guess what they did to him? They shaved his head with a broken bottle. They beat the hell out of him. Do you get? So you can see that right from the one. That's why a lot of people try to like run away from the media.
Yeah.
Do you get? Like they just want to stay away from the media and all. And aside from that, I'm even going way back to 1970. Let's look at the NSAS. What happened? We saw videos of people being arrested, being locked up poorly and all. Now, looking at this thing, Mohbad situation, after the whole candlelight procession,
a lot of people wanted to just take it a notch
further,
level,
and they went to converge at the toll gate, and we saw what happened. Do you get? So, see, this whole thing, I don't even know. I see this whole thing is just a very big. We don't know how. honestly, it's a whole lot.
I think
It's
the
a
man
whole
was
lot.
just upset with the fact that you can't just say all Nigerians are ignorant. It just felt like, oh, their fathers did not do anything in their own time, and they've been fighting this war for since long coming.
Yes,
Because
now.
in 1938, the National Youth Movement was established for youth to be able to fight for their rights and all. And since then, we've been seeing youth take over the governments, trying to put things in place, trying to and I mean the youth back then are our parents now. So it just felt like a low blow for the man. Like, where are you coming from? Like, do you know when we've been speaking out? A lot of people, a lot of journalists have died in the act of speaking out for the people. Like Delegiwa,
exactly.
they gave him a parcel in his house.
Yeah, they gave him a parcel, and it was a bomb that just,
do you understand?
Came
we
up.
have lights of them that came out to speak, and they are nowhere to be found today now. But also in the aspect of Lojay, because most people that are coming out to talk now about this Mobile Z and the NSAD protest and all, parents said some things that did not align with the youth, that were kind of like supporting what the government was saying about the youth. Okay. And I think that was what propelled Lojay to say what he's saying now. Okay. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, let me come in there. You know, you said parents were saying things that
some
parents, right, were saying things that looked like as if they were in support of the government. Yeah. Like I said earlier, we all know how this thing started. Look at Fela Kuti, right? He was an advocate of, we all know that he was also advocating for the betterment of Nigeria. Yeah. We saw what happened to him. Do you get? So now, when parents come out to talk about these things, they know what they are saying. We are just acting based on our emotions, and we are acting based on our anger. This is, you know, for how long they have been fighting this fight. Yeah. It goes way back. It's not something, we the youth, we are just acting based on our anger. We are not ready to sit down and look and understand where the roots of all these things came
for me, I don't
from.
even think Lojay's opinion was coming from the political aspect of it. I think it was coming from the social aspect of it, the societal aspect of it. Like, you know, if we have to take Mohbad's death and NSAS,
let's even leave NSAS. NSAS is more like a political.
The major issue centered around this thing is useful character, useful behaviors. Like, what caused the NSAS on? Because police was always arresting kids whenever they are dressed some sort of way, and this Mohbad's death is connected to him mixing with the bad gangs too. Like, do you understand? So I feel like
just
that's
like when Pastor Bakari came out
to say he was with bad gangs, he joined bad gangs. Do you understand?
He has reaped
one. So I feel like that's where Lojay's perspective is coming from. Like, you guys cannot just be saying children are dying because they are following bad gangs or because they are dressing some sort of way so that's why he feels like they are ignorant. And somehow, as a parent, that's not something you should even be saying safe. That's not something that you should be thinking of, because you don't know what your kids are doing outside there. You don't know where your kids are. It can happen to anybody. My own brother was arrested one day. He was nicely dressed. He was going for a school function. The only mistake he made was not to take his school ID card. And he was with students in the keke, and they stopped them. And he said, "Where are you guys going to?" He said, "We are going to school, sir." And he said, "Let me see your ID." The others showed the ID card, but he didn't have the ID card to show. And he was saying, "These are my friends. We are going to school together." Before we know it, from Igondo to Bagada to go and bail out my brother. So, you know, this kind of things. Yeah. If any parents was going to come out and say, now they'll say, how was he dressed? What did he look like?
Speaking of, let me buttress on what you just said. Yeah. There's this movie titled The Black Book, right? Now, there's a particular scene in that movie where a political person, his son, shot someone, right? Killed a person. And there's this man, a nobody, who his son looked exactly like that guy. And when the guy was now moving and they called, like, let me see you. The guy even brought out his ID card. Like, they flinged this and they asked him to turn around, and before you know it, they shot him. Yeah. So we've had a lot of cases like this where people are just, you know, killed. They just killed, like, people are just being killed, misplaced identity and all those things. You get? So I don't know, Sha, this thing can happen to anybody. Honestly, it can happen to anybody.
Whichever perspective they're coming from, what I just want to say is, in anything we are saying or anything we are doing, we should not try to be sentimental. Let's try to put things as they are, say things as they are. Oh, was this wrong? It's wrong. Is this right? It's right.
People are just trying to just, you know.
Everybody is trying to make up for something,
No, people are
cover
trying
up
to
for
mind
something.
their business. That's how I put it. Because people are just trying to mind their business. Because you don't know what you go and say and you land yourself inside trouble.
Inside trouble,
Do you
right?
get? That's why a lot of people, because I've seen so many people call out Don Jazzy, saying you are not even saying anything. You are not even, like, people are just calling out different people. You people are not saying anything. What do you want them to say? You don't know what you go and say now. You put yourself inside trouble. That's the thing.
And the matter really doesn't concern them.
Exactly.
Please don't ask them to say anything. Speaking of saying anything, a lady has come to seek our advice. A woman who has been a fiancée for 10 years without being made a wife has taken to Facebook to cry out. Chiko Ogbonna claims Onyekachi Nwabueze proposed to her 10 years ago and she has been wearing an engagement ring since then. But they have not done their wedding. Tagging her fiancé to the post on Facebook, she asked the public for advice on what to do. Please, Uyi, what do you think she should do?
Wait, she has been wearing her engagement ring for 10 years. My dear, just go and remove the ring and go and do somewhere. Because that is not going to happen. It's not happening. I don't think there's any. How would somebody engage you for 10 years?
Yeah.
What's that?
Why do you feel like it will not happen?
I don't know. For me, I just feel like it's not going to happen. For 10 years is a whole lot.
I don't know the story. I don't know the baseline of the story. But the first thing that might come to mind is age. Maybe the guy feels like, oh, he's not old enough to get
why
married
did you engage
yet. And maybe their love started at a young age.
Then why did you
I know
engage
people
her?
that dated for 8 years, and it felt like, oh, they were already engaged. And at the end of the 8 years or 10 years, they later got married, right? So he might just feel like, you know, there's a way women feel pressured sometimes, and then we just want to make the man do something. And because he's not ready, but he wants to keep the lady. He wants the lady to know that, okay, we are in this together. So he just decided that, you know what,
if a man is ready to marry you, if he's ready to walk down the aisle with you, it will not take any time. He will do it.
What if he doesn't have the resources?
Then why? Okay, if you don't have the resources, then how do you not have the resources to engage somebody for over 10 years? Booms. How?
There's something I always say. Marriage is different from dating. You know, when they get married now, they will start thinking of, it's been 1 year, it's been 2 years. Let's have children. And then the guy will be thinking like, if we are still dating, you will not want to have children.
That's the same thing I'm saying. He does not have the resources.
Yeah.
For you to engage somebody, that means you want to marry that person.
Of course, want to marry now.
And that means you have the resource. You have what it takes to marry someone.
He does not have it.
But he does not have, and you went ahead to engage the lady. So what were you expecting?
So my own question now is, why is the lady coming to ask us? Are they not having this Is she not asking the guy like, Oga, okay, it's been 10 years.
Maybe the guy just keeps giving excuses as usual. Do you get? And she now say, okay, you know what? Let me just come online and ask. Like me, I've given you my own advice.
The social media is actually the wrongest place to come to when it comes to matters of the heart.
Just forget about it.
You see, some people will tell you, oh no, keep going. No, we support you. He's only trying to get he's trying to put things together. He's going to marry. And then some people will say, leave that man. But we're not in a relationship. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what their whole relationship entails. Maybe there's an agreement that we're not getting married till this year, but you know, let me just engage you so that you know that you are mine and I am yours and nobody is taking you. I really don't know. I really don't know to what aspects their relationship.
Just forget about it, because I don't know who will engage somebody for 10 years, not even 2. 10 years, and you are still saying what should we do and what should I do, or you are even asking questions. My dear, forget about it, because it's not happening. Any man that likes you, any man that loves you and he wants to marry you, he will engage you, and the following week you guys will start planning your wedding and your marriage.
The following week?
Yes, now, or the following month. Rather, I even said week. It's even too
early.
It's too early. Maybe the following month he will engage you. You guys will start planning
but why
your wedding.
So upset?
No, it's upsetting, because how will you engage somebody for 10 years? You are not even dating. Engagement for 10 years. And you now said maybe he does not have the resources. I'm like, if you don't have the resources, then why will you engage somebody?
I'm only trying to, I'm just trying to support him. Like,
no.
They say women don't support men, so I'm just trying to, support the man.
There's not, my dear.
I actually do not buy the idea of the 10 years engagement.
My dear, just forget about it.
Except if they're in talks, there's constant communication. Oh, this is the reason why we are not doing it
even
yet.
4 years is even for somebody to be dating for 4 years, I'll be 5 years. What are you people?
No, dating is different from courtship.
That's
now
what
they are
I'm saying.
cutting.
That's what I'm saying. What are you doing in a relationship of 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 10 years? What are you people doing? What kind of talking stage are you doing that is leading to
Anyways.
that long this thing? If you find a spark in that
Yeah.
person and you feel like, okay, this person is the bone of your bone, the flesh of your flesh, and I can cope with this person, then I don't, except if you do not have the resources. You get that
Yeah.
is when you might, just lay low a little bit and all. But when you have the resource, once you engage a lady, you don't keep her waiting. You don't keep her waiting. You go straight to it. You can't keep a lady for 10 years
For 10
with the
years.
engagement ring and you're still wearing it.
Anyways, Chico,
Hello.
you have heard it from Uime. Uime says that you should please leave the relationship.
Just
But if you
leave
need
it.
more advice from her, you can contact her on her social media. But this is where we draw the curtain for today. Thanks to everyone for watching as always. We really appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining the conversation. Join the conversation on social media with the hashtag #TeaTime. And remember, you can catch up on our previous episodes, including this very one, on all our exclusive content by subscribing to our YouTube channel at PlusTvAfrica Lifestyle. You can also watch Tea Time on RTTV and in London on Ben Television and Star Times channel 308. A big thank you to my Ogaraya, the beautiful one.
Yeah,
the
I'm
advice giver.
I'm calm
And
now.
of course, to the entire production team, thank you very much. To Toby, who is under the weather, thank you. And Mr. Miles, thank you so much. Thank you for watching Plus TV Africa's Tea Time. My name is Booms, your favorite 007. And till tomorrow, we meet again.